Capsizing is a welcome diversion for the America's Cup challengers, and INEOS Britannia joined the club this week in Palma. It was a typically understated affair as usual for the Brits. This is the story.
Rob Wilson, super coach here at INEOS Britannia. It's been an interesting day out on the water. Saw some amazing top speeds above 40 knots we estimated, and you finally got the capsize out of the way. It was a very slow speed affair. Let's start with the capsize. Do we know what happened?
It was pretty benign, to be honest, and it kind of feels quite good to join the club as well, because it's just a test of how the shore guys are going to react to that, and it was all very calm, quite an efficient writing procedure, so it was good to get that under the belt. As to what actually happened, we need to have a little look at the data, but you'll have probably seen, and I'm sure you got it on the video, we ended up with 2 boards up in the air. So not a lot of writing moment, yeah. And it was, I don't know, about 18 knots at the time, and so it was just a real slow rollover, and then we righted the boat from there.
No damage to the boat?
Initial inspections are all quite encouraging. The boys are actually really keen to keep sailing, but it's our first time putting her on her side, so we thought it was prudent just to come back to the shore and just check the electronics and make sure everything was okay. But it all seems good.
Let's talk about the rest of the day then. Some dry laps of the bay, or at least one part of the bay. You guys were ripping around. In your role as a coach, what are you looking for? What are you trying to get out of the day? You often have a variety of priorities. Today, we were certainly on the sort of engineering tests. So basically a lot of sort of systems, controls work. So we were looking at that most of the morning, and we were looking for sort of decent breeze. It's been really tricky because we've had a mix of northeasterly and northwesterly winds here, and we're often in this sort of convergence zone right in the middle. So it's been quite hard forecasting the last few days, so we were just trying to make the most of the wind that was out there. Pretty flat water, and it got breezy, maybe 18 knots I think you said at the end. Is that perfect conditions for what you were trying to do? The flat sea state sort of takes out a variable, that's for sure. But so depending on what you're looking at, that can certainly be more useful. As soon as you get the variables of a difficult sea state, then often that control work is harder to look into. Thanks, that's great.
This is your Sailing Highlights show, The World on Water, February 3, 2023. Another demonstration of power sailing today from the very top drawer by the Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli team, who have thoroughly got to grips with all the nuances of their LEQ12 that they make sailing in big breeze look almost mundane.
We're here with Davide Cannata, short team. Obviously, you have a strong background in electronics, and you were part of the sailing team for the last campaign. Can you tell us a bit how you're living all this new campaign and prototype and so on?
Well, America's Cup is very complicated most of the times, so you gotta adjust yourself at any situation, as well as everybody else in the team. So sometimes you can be a sailor, sometimes you will be an electronics, and sometimes you will be something else. The boat requires different power inputs, and at this stage the technical skills were different than the one I can give. So I'm giving everything in the electronic department at the moment.
Yes, you're in charge of communication on board, and we assume there are some challenges for helmets and communication between all those sailors. Can you tell us what challenges are you facing, and how are you guys overcoming all of these?
Well, obviously, first of all, electronics and salt water and wind that don't work really well together. So it's always challenging. It's been really challenging the last time as well, but this time we faced a new question mark that we actually weren't thinking about, because the boat is tinier. We always trying to go in a more Formula One setup, so the guys on board are very covered up by the carbon, so it's the radio frequency is very challenging to pass through all these obstacles. So it's always you always improving your systems, and that's what we're trying to do.
We had already INEOS team requesting us to take some shots of your helmets. Anything particular on that?
As I said, it's just like an adjustment, and we experimenting some different ways to have a better reception with all our communications and everything.
Some weeks ago we were observing you working on the rudder for some electronics. Can you give us some insight of what troubles were you first seeing then?
Yeah, we were just checking at something that we had a doubt. And as you know, we have many things to check in the morning, just before the dock out, while sailing. So obviously, if you have, if you think there could be a problem on something, obviously you want to go as quickly as possible to look for that and to be sure everything is okay.
That's great. And looking forward to the big boat, where you're probably gonna set up some cyclers on board, how challenging do you think that implementation of a cycler setup and electronic gear system and so on will give you trouble, and how big do you think are the challenges to overcome on that aspect?
Obviously, we still don't know, since we don't have a boat to try. We are obviously doing some tests on shore, so we are, let's say, trying to be as prepared as possible when the big boat will be here, so we can take all our knowledge and put it on the big boat and just let the guys have fun on board.
Davide, per concludere, ci fai un commento in italiano per i tifosi di Luna Rossa?
Lo facciamo
sì,
per i tifosi di Luna Rossa cagliaritani.
Esatto, cagliaritani soprattutto.
Come Checco ha detto Forza Palermo, diciamo Forza Castello.
The first event of 2023 for the new Olympic foiling windsurfing discipline reached its halfway point today, with a change in the leadership of the women's fleet. Sharon Kantor, ISR, is the new leader, moving ahead of Spaniard Pilar Lamadrid, who dropped to second place, just 2 points behind. Sam Sills, GBR, still dominates the men's fleet.
On the final day, it all came down to the medal race. Sam Sills from GBR had an amazing week, but had to settle for silver when Pavel Tarnowski won the medal race. Bronze went to France's Nicolas Goyard. In the women's fleet, there was an amazing performance by the Israeli team, taking 4 out of 5 of the top places. But it was Pilar Lamadrid who won the event. Second place, Shahar Tibi. Third place, Sharon Kantor.
Performance data analyst and local Mallorcan, Elvira Llabres, returns to Palma to chase T6 in this her sixth America's Cup campaign. Elvira explains her position in the team.
I'm Elvira Llabres. This is my sixth America's Cup. I'm a performance analyst and I work for a test and validation department here in INEOS, Britannia. One of the best things of this job is that the goal is so clear. We have to win this America's Cup. I'm from Palma de Mallorca and I started sailing here in Mallorca with my cousins when I was very, very young, like 7 or 8 years old. I started sailing here, but I grew up in Valencia, so I was going back and forth, and once you get into it, you sail around the world wherever the race is. And it's very special sailing here in Palma again. The Bay of Palma is really, really good for it, especially in winter. I started working for the America's Cup a while ago. I have always been a sailor, and when the Cup came to Spain, I thought that I might try to mix my passion for sailing with my career, and I started working for the America's Cup, and I have always been working for the marine industry since. I'm part of the test and validation team. Our part in the team is make sure that the data we are collecting is what the other members of the team need. On one side is the sailors when they are sailing, on the other hand is also the designers when they have to make decisions about how they are going to keep going with the design. So it's the quality of the data and that we are getting the data we need. Normally on a daily basis I would be on chase 4 following the boat and making sure that the data we are gathering is the right data, looking at the boat and looking that all the data we are gathering makes sense. It's a big field these days because technology are proving to be more and more important every day. And it's not only gathering data, it's analyzing the data and making sure that the data is right. And it's getting more and more important in the industry, and every day more people are hired that have these skills. It's still a great thing being able to combine my job with my passion. Most people that are sailors work in a bank or something like that. Look where I'm working. That's different, right? Yeah, we are not that many females, but we are getting more and more, and I think it's a path that more females should follow, because it's like we don't have the opportunity because we don't have the experience and it's like a circle that hopefully we will break with the Women's America's Cup. That's one of them. And another one is I have been here for a while, so it's completely doable. You just have to try.
It's been a successful start to what has been a fast and intense race, leading the fleet down the Atlantic. Conditions have become more complicated recently with the passage of the doldrums, ensnared in a windless sea.
Hello, welcome aboard the Biotherm. We left Mindelo in Cabo Verde 5 days ago for the second leg of the ocean race. And now we just in the doldrums. Doldrums is really complicated because it's not windy and it's a lot of storm and rain. But I think today we will be out of that. The first days of race was perfect. We used a white Spinnaker water lover Biotherm, and it was a good sail, really fast. And so we are really proud and happy about this beginning. And now it will be a bit different. It will be a big reaching along the Brazil, and probably in 10 days we'll arrive in Cape Town in South Africa. Thanks very much for all your support. It's really important for us because you know we are 4 crew and 1 OBR on the boat, and the team building is really important for us. The race will be long and we need your support. Thanks very much.
The platform for water sports enthusiasts and water sports equipment took place again after 2 corona breaks. The industry has obviously longed for Boot Dusseldorf. From nautical charts to giant yachts, the rush was great everywhere. Still, strong currents are changing the industry, from electric mobility to inflation and energy prices. Rough seas here, and there for the water sports economy.
Diese Boote sind vielleicht die größte Veränderung hier auf der Wassersportmesse Boot in Düsseldorf. Kleine Außenbord-Elektromotoren gibt es zwar schon länger, rein elektrische Powerboats aber sind eigentlich erst möglich mit weiterentwickelter Batterietechnik. Dieser Trend zum elektrischen Vortrieb wird Häfen und Marinas verändern, ähnlich wie bei der Autoinfrastruktur. Batterien wollen aufgeladen werden. Gänzlich emissionsfrei sind selbst Segelyachten nicht. Die für viele eleganteste Form des Wassersports braucht im Hafen auch mal Strom. Kleinere Mengen an Wattstunden zwar, aber auch diese Energie sollte klimaschonend produziert werden.
Zum einen ist in einer Marina eigentlich immer nur im Sommer Saison. Da muss sich die Infrastrukturausgabe lohnen. Und das zweite Problem ist, dass es viele Reviere gibt, für die Elektroboote noch nicht möglich sind, weil ganz einfach die Leistung und die Distanz, die abgerufen wird mit einem Elektroboot, noch nicht erledigt werden kann. Aber in den Revieren, wo Elektroboote schon anfangen, ein Teil des Marktes zu sein, in diesen Revieren wird es jetzt peu à peu, es gibt schon Marinas mit der tollen Infrastruktur und das wird jetzt peu à peu aufgebaut.
Elektrisch werden selbst die neuesten Trends. Tragflächen-Surfboards. Inzwischen auch mit E-Motor und Batterie. Im Mittelpunkt der Messe stehen allerdings ganz klar auch die günstigen Einstiege in die Welt des Wassersports. Ob Schnuppertauchen, Schnuppersegeln, Schnupperpaddeln oder Schnupperwakeboarden, die hohe Anzahl an Besuchern ist für die Veranstalter Beweis genug, dass die Begeisterung für das Meer- und Binnengewässer ungebrochen ist. Inflation und hohe Energiepreise einerseits, lange Corona-Pause andererseits, beides beeinflusst das Konsumverhalten der Wassersportler.
Die Stimmung war generell grandios. Die Aussteller waren sehr zufrieden, die Besucher waren erstmal experimentierfreudig, was die Mitmachaktion betrifft, aber sie waren auch sehr kauffreudig. Und ja, natürlich ist es so, dass es einen Nachfragerückgang gegeben hat, aber der Markt liegt immer noch bei den kleinen Booten über dem Niveau von 2019 und bei den etwas größeren Booten liegt er immer noch etwas darüber. Also der generelle Tenor ist, die Boot Düsseldorf wird der Branche ein gutes 2023 bescheren.
Auch bei den Großyachten, ohnehin konzipiert für die sogenannten oberen 10.000, verändert sich das Kaufverhalten. Sharing und Charter sind die Worte, die hier auf der Boot häufig fallen. Eine Yacht wird nicht ganz gekauft, sondern eher als schwimmendes Ferienhaus gemietet. An der Hauptzielgruppe ändert das aufgrund der Miet- oder Charterpreise trotzdem eher wenig.
The new Equator crossers have to undergo a series of trade-ins when crossing for the first time. It includes the loss of hair amongst other things. But it is worth it crossing on Guide Environment Team Europe, a foiling flyer.
We are checking the numbers, and the first thing is to look outside how the sail is, and also where will be the wind in the next step, because it's increase and decrease a lot at that time.
Thai green chicken curry with rice sounds very good, but it has 800 calories. That's a lot. That's really a lot. You know, it's strange because in those days when you have not much to do, all the food we carry is high calories. The bars, the candy, the free stripe. So you can't really eat to a full feeling. You get fat. Most of the fleet is here in between the foil and the outrigger. So the next boat to us is Biotherm, which is probably 70 miles west. And I think on this ladder step we also find Holcim, and then the most westerly boat is 11 hours. A little bit like New Year's Eve, like a countdown atmosphere here. It's very nice. I'm very excited. The best thing is we're doing like 16, 17 knots at the moment. Flying out of the doldrums. I guess we are first boat crossing the equator of the fleet.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Be careful the capsize!
3, 2, okay!
we could be very happy of this first part of the race. We are crossing the Equator. It was the first time for a big part of the crew, so I'm very happy to share that with everybody. And for the moment we are ahead, so it's a really big news, a really good job by the team. I'm really proud of it. It's to color your hair, so you have the choice between verde and azul.
No.
What? Yeah, so you have to color your hair.
You go where?
Doesn't work, but
The rookie time.
tu filmes?
Yeah. Oi! Some air for Neptune. Oh, careful.
Nice piece.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a big ceremony!
From the Coconut Grove Miami Sailing Club, this is day 5 of the 2023 Finn Gold Cup. Britain's Ed Wright has won the Finn Gold Cup in Miami, USA, after no racing was possible on the final day on Biscayne Bay. Demonco's Namath, from Hungary, went one better than 2022 and took the silver, while European champion, Miguel Fernandez Vasco, from Spain took the bronze.
Really nice week in Miami. We were sailing super good, I think. We had super good conditions. It was Ed Wright, the official winner. Congrats!
Thank you too. Awesome.
Really nice sailing. We had it was super good people here. Really good organization. I really liked it, and really hoping to see more of them and the Europeans. Oh, I'm super happy with the silver medal. It's thrilling, to be honest. Super good guys were here, and it was really tight match at the end. Definitely going to sail in Finn till I'm out of juniors. I'm 20, so I have a bit more time left. I started doing a bit of IQ foiling, but I don't know how it will end. Also doing the SSL with the Hungarian team. We really hope that next year is going to be held.
Okay, no racing today. The result from yesterday is valid, and I'm so happy because in 3 months I just won the Finn Europeans and now finished 3rd in the Finn Gold Cup. That is a super dream for me. Miami is fantastic. If we can do another time the Finn Gold Cup here, I'm going to come back.
So 2023 Finn Gold Cup champion. I'm very excited about that. It was a bit of a stressful day with the very light winds, but actually we didn't race in the end today. So in the end, by default, I get the win. It's been a fun week. Really nice to be back after a few years in the Finn. I think it was 2019 last time I was in the Finn. So. It was really nice racing. I could have won it many times. I've been second and third, I think 5 or 6 other times. So probably I've been knocking on the door for a while. It's nice to actually win it again. It was quite hard actually. Yeah, the other guys have definitely picked up the level. They're training hard, and there's a couple of youngsters that are really improving. So let's see what happens in the fin class in the future. So we've been invited by Coconut Grove Sailing Club, and they've put on a great event. The race officer was outstanding this week. Really hats off to her. And everything went amazingly, really. It was a well-oiled regatta, so hopefully we'll come back soon.